What's up, Michael Jordan collectors and investors? I hope you guys are having a great weekend. So this is Sunday morning for me. So got my coffee here. And in this video, I'm going to be addressing the great questions that you guys have and the great comments. Questions like, should I buy, sell, or hold my Michael Jordan rookie card? Will it spike again? So we're going to talk about all of those things. So also, I get a lot of questions. Hey, did you sell your Michael Jordan card? You should sell it. Did you sell it? And I can tell you right now that I have not sold my Michael Jordan rookie card because it's right here. And I'm going to place it right here so you guys can look at it. This is my centerpiece right here. This is my pride and joy. I would never sell it. Like many of you know, I bought this for $15,000. So there's absolutely no way I can lose on this card unless, it goes down to zero, which I don't think will ever happen. And like I've told many of you, definitely hold your card. Do not sell it right now. Do not sell it right now because the card has came down off its highs and it's now settled and it's leveled out. And in some grades, it's nearly 50% lower. And this card will spike again. This card spikes every single year that I can remember. This card will spike. And we're going to get into all of that. Now, depending on your financial situation, if you bought this card really cheap, then go ahead and get that profit. Go ahead and get that profit. If it benefits you and your family to get that money right now, then go ahead. But if you just want to sell it because you're afraid that it's going to go down and down and down in value and you don't need the money, do not sell it. Just hold the card. So let's talk about the spike that just happened. Let's talk about that a little bit. Now, so in January we had these auctions. So let's look at the graph here. This is a PSA 10. This is on cardladder.com. So let's talk about what happened here. So here we are in mid-December. We have a sell of $200,000. And then on the 20th of December, we had a sell for $208,000. Now prior to this card had not sold anywhere near this price. And then here on the 3rd of January, we have another sell of $200,000. So this pretty much confirms that the Michael Jordan rookie card is now a $200,000 card. This is the 3rd of January. So then we have this sell here for $350,000, which was a huge increase from the 3rd. So, and look at the date right here. So 28th of January. So what was going on during the 28th of January? Golden Auctions. Golden Auctions had already had their 2 PSA 10s listed on their auction site. So when this sale happened, that just boosted those cards. So this card shot up to about $450,000, close to $500,000 while on auction after this sale right here. This created a whole lot of groundswell and a whole lot of hype. So because these cards right here in Golden Auction sold just 2 days later after the $350,000. Once that happened, these cards boosted to $500,000. They went into extended bidding and they ended up at $720,000. So this injected tremendous energy into the market. Because if we look at the PSA 9, let's find the PSA 9 here. So if we look at the PSA 9, so remember those dates right there. So look down here on the 25th of January. So before that $350,000 sell. So when the $350,000 sell happened, there was also a sell for a PSA 9 for $53,000, which had been about what it had been selling. And then the next sell on the 29th shot up to $61,000 after the $350,000. And at the same time on Golden Auctions, those 2 PSA 10s, they were flying. They were like $500,000. And the next sale on the 31st is one day after the golden auctions. And this sold for, the PSA 9 sold for $70,000. And then on the 2nd, it sold for $80,000. Pretty much after that big sell at golden auctions, which caused the spike in the market for the Michael Jordan rookie card, you have about 1 week, maybe 10 days to really maximize your return on investment. After that, it's going to start cooling off. So here we got on the 2nd, and then you go here to the 8th. So this is 8 days later, and it sold for $89,000. You have like a 1 week window here. So there's always one guy that's going to wait for that perfect card. He's going to go all in on it. You know, right here, 80,000, 89,000. Well, look what happens after the 8th. It starts dipping, 75,000, 2 for 75,000. And then you look down here, we're back at 59,000. 59,000, which is a $30,000 decrease. So in 2 weeks, it dropped $30,000, the PSA 9. And then it just kept dropping. So you have like, if you really want to sell this card, you wait for the next spike, and you have about a 1 week window to think about this and to maximize your return on investment. After that, it's falling. You're on the ski slope. So you're selling it on the down. So the only problem is predicting the spike. So predicting the spike. What we do know, this is what we do know. There's a spike every year. There's a spike every year. So one of the causes of the spike. So this is one spike that's 100% guaranteed happens every single year. Every single year. You can mark it down. The NBA season. 1 month prior to the NBA season, modern cards of modern stars and young rookies and a new class, that's leading up. So you start off, let's use this graph. Let's use this graph right here for an example. Let's say that this right here is 1 month prior to the start of the season. So right here, this is the modern cards. This is all the modern rookie cards. This is all the modern stars. This is Luka. This is Trey. This is Jason Tatum. This is, this is all of these guys here. This is Zion. So this is where their cards will be. Right way down here, 1 month prior. So there's a savvy group out there that know this trend. They know this trend. So there's a savvy group, and what they do is they buy up these cards around here. They're buying these cards up prior to this. They're preparing for this. These guys, this savvy group right here, they do not care about what this guy does during the season. They don't care if this guy wins an MVP, if his team wins a championship. They don't care about that. These guys right here, these are the smartest guys right here. They buy up these cards right here, and their only plan is to sell these cards on the hype. On the hype. They're going to sell it to all of the people that are getting hyped up for the season. All of these guys that think that if they buy these cards before the season, that they'll somehow go up in value based on what the player does during the season. That's not true. Think about this. Only one guy can win an MVP. And only one guy can win a championship. And who are those guys that win MVPs and championships? They're veterans. It's LeBron James. It's James Harden. It's Kevin Durant. It's those guys. It's Kawhi Leonard. It's those guys. It's the veterans. Who are the guys that usually win the championships? LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant. Veterans. These young stars, these rookies, these guys that have been playing a few years, they're not leading their team to a championship. They're not getting MVPs. These guys, the best these guys can do is get a lot of media attention, get their teams to the playoffs, be in the run for MVP, score a lot of points, get a lot of triple doubles, get a lot of game-winning shots, take over games. That's what these guys do, and they get a little, they get a lot of hype. Luka, these guys get a lot of hype, but the most their card is going to be is prior to the season. say this spike right here. This spike right here is 1 day before the season begins. That's the most that these cards are going to be. And these smart guys, these savvy guys that bought all these cards, they're going to sell them before this day. They're going to sell them before that day. And after the season starts, they're going to fall off a cliff. So what does this have to do with the Michael Jordan market? Well, when these modern cards are going sky high, so we're looking at the modern cards and we're like, man, these cards are expensive. Trae Young selling for, rookie cards selling for $10,000, $30,000. And if all the attention is on the modern cards, that means the Michael Jordan market is cooling. The Kobe Bryant market is cooling. So people are looking at these Lukas, these Trae Youngs, these Zions. They're like, man, these guys are so expensive. So why is Michael Jordan cards? If a Luka's Prism selling for $300,000, why is a Michael Jordan BGS 9.5 rookie card, why is that only $80,000? Like, it seems undervalued. So now people jump off of the modern and they jump onto the Michael Jordan market. They jump onto the greats. They jump onto Kobe. I mean, if Trae Young's predicted ceiling is Allen Iverson, and Trae Young's $60,000, and Allen Iverson is $10,000 for a Topps Chrome rookie card, and a 10, people are going to be like, why don't I just buy Allen Iverson? He's all-time great. Or why don't I just buy Kobe Bryant? So, I mean, that's what they do. So they jump from the modern, they jump onto the greats. A lot of these guys, a lot of these savvy guys that bought these cards and sold them on this hype going up to the season, that's their chance to flip these cards, take that profit, and jump and buy a Michael Jordan rookie card, buy a Kobe Bryant rookie card. That's one of their plans. And all of these guys that bought these cards right here, with all of this hope, with all of that hope of what these guys might do during the season, they always lose. They always lose. They're going to hold these cards, and they're going to see them go down, and now they're stuck with these cards that they paid high prices for. And what happens? They end up selling them. They end up selling them back to this savvy group. Once these cards bottom out, they sell them back to the guys that sold them to them, and the process continues. And so every year, these modern cards, you can mark it down. They're always going to spike right before the season. They're going to go sky high. Modern cards are going to be expensive. People are going to say, why aren't the greats worth this much? And then they jump onto the greats. They jump onto the Michael Jordan market. And the Michael Jordan market spikes every year. This has happened every year. It hasn't happened like this year, but it always happens every year. It's usually smaller. It's a smaller spike. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, KD, all these guys spike. And then they come down and they cool and they settle. And then people say, and that happens because everyone jumps onto the Michael Jordan market so hard. They drive these cards up so high that they get really expensive. And then the guys that want them are like, man, I can't afford these. I'm priced out. So they're like, some of these guys that really want to enjoy the hobby, their only choice is to go to modern. They might not even like modern that much, but they go to modern because they really want to enjoy the hobby. They want to open packs, and this is the only way they can do it. So they jump back on the modern and enjoy that for a while. And then all of a sudden modern gets built right back up. Start of the season, falls off a cliff. Everyone jumps back on Michael Jordan. Happens every year. Now this year was weird because last year we had COVID. In the championship, the finals, we saw a champion, at the end of the year, and then we had like a 1 month turnaround, and the season began again. So it was kind of strange. And then we had all these huge golden auctions and all these auctions happening. So it was like the perfect storm for this Michael Jordan market. So that's what happens. That's why I'm saying, you're asking me, will these cards spike again? Yes, they spike every single year. They spike. You just gotta wait. If you really want to sell this card, if you really want to sell your card, you just wait for the spike to happen again. And It's hard to predict that spike, but if it jumps like it did from the 300, like the PSA 10 jumped from the 350,000, if it jumps 50%, if anything jumps 50%, that's a good chance. I mean, 50% is a very good return on investment for any of your cards. I mean, all of the grades pretty much jump 50%. The 9 jumped up to almost 90,000 from around, it was in the 40s, low 50s, and it jumped to, almost 90,000. So, I mean, even if we look at the 8s here, let's look at the PSA 8s. It was similar. It was very similar. So if we look at let's find the PSA 8s here. So look at the PSA 8s. So also look, it was selling around 15,000 prior to that $350,000 sell. And then we look here on the 30th. On the 30th here, this is when golden auctions happened. So it shot up to 17,000. And then the very next sell was $22,000. And then we had 2 sales of $22,000 a day. One of them is a day after golden auctions, and the other one is just 2 days after. And then we have 25,000. And then look here on the 5th of February. So that's during that 1 week that I'm talking about, that 1 week window that you have. It shot up to 26,000. So it went from like 14,000 to 26,000. See, 14,000 to 26,000. So if you ever see a big sell like that, if it goes up 50%, 40, 50%, that's a good time to try and sell your card. If you really want to sell your card, after that 1 week window, it's going to fall off. So after 1 week, if you watch that 1 week, if there's not enough, if you don't see it breaking more records and continue to going up, if it's kind of just a little choppy in that 1 week, try and get your card. I would just list your card in that 1 week window if you really must sell. But honestly, like this BGS 95 I have right here, it's a long hold for me. I'm just gonna keep it. I love the card. It's nostalgic for me. I love the card. I have no reason to sell it. So yeah, that's how I think about that. So another hot topic is PSA raised their prices. So what does that mean for the Michael Jordan market? The PSA raised their prices. So you might not want to hear this, but this is something that had to happen, and I think it'll be good for us. The PSA raised their prices for the bulk submissions, pretty much almost a double. So what this is going to do, this is going to prevent a lot of guys. A lot of guys are going to think twice about sending in these base cards, these modern base cards, which have print runs in the hundreds of thousands, if not a million. So if everyone is sending in these flagship base cards, if they're just filtering all of these cards into PSA, they're going to have a tremendous volume there, and it's going to cause us, the Michael Jordan collectors, a Michael Jordan rookie card, what the cheapest one, it pretty much is like a $3,000 to $5,000 card. A PSA 1, the authentic altered ones are like $3,000. So it doesn't really affect, the only way it affects the Michael Jordan collector investors is that we don't get our cards back in a timely manner. But if we can cut down on this high volume of base cards getting sent in the PSA, we can actually get our valuable Michael Jordan rookie cards back and our other Michael Jordan cards back in a timely manner. I mean, so when PSA started, basically 10 years ago, all we sent in to PSA was our most valuable cards. And, our Michael Jordan rookie cards, our valuable Michael Jordan cards. That's what we sent in, and we were able to get those back in a timely manner. And then everyone's just started flooding these base cards in, these base cards that might be $10, so they can sell them for $100 and make a profit. And so they're sending in the same base card. They're sending in bulk submissions, 100 of the same base card, and that really like bogs down PSA. That heavy load, and we can't get our cards back. So what this is going to do, this is going to cut down on all of that, and we're going to get our cards back in a timely manner. And but what it can do is the PSA 10s, like like the common Michael Jordan cards, the early 90 cards, the base cards, the PSA 10s, it's going to put a premium on those PSA 10s because now PSA 10s are harder to get. It's going to cut down on population reports of the PSA 10s. It's going to put a little bit of a premium on those PSA 10s because they're really hard to get now. So it's going to help the Michael Jordan market a little bit as far as those, because those are going to be harder to get, and because people are going to think twice about sending in a PSA 9 because it's not going to make sense for them anymore on their margins. They're just going to be breaking even, you know. So I think it's good, and I wouldn't be surprised if PSA raises their price again. So we'll see about that. So what else? So another question you guys are asking me about. So you guys want to know about star cards. So what's the deal with star cards? Why are star cards all of a sudden so hot? Why are they on fire? Well, the thing about star cards, say a lot of you don't know, if a lot of you that are just now getting into the Michael Jordan market, but guys like my age, around my age, that had Michael Jordan cards in the late 80s, early 90s. So when we first started getting these cards, I got my first Michael Jordan rookie card in 1990, and I didn't know that much about it. I looked it up. You know, Beckett magazine came out in 1990, but they didn't list the star cards in the Beckett magazine. You had to get a magazine called Tough Stuff Price Guide. So that's how we looked up star cards. And so when I first got the Michael Jordan rookie card, I couldn't believe how much it was. I looked it up in the price guide. I had a Tough Stuff magazine, and I looked this up, and it was like $300 going up for my card. And I was like, wow, that's the most expensive card that I've ever owned. And I looked on the back of this, and I saw that, Michael Jordan, this is his third year card, and I was confused. I was a little confused about that in 1990, being a young kid. So I looked to see if Michael Jordan had some older cards, and he did. He has an 84 card and a star. But when this was $300 going up, that star card was almost $1,000 in the Tough Stuff magazine. And I was like, wow, there's a more expensive card. So the star card used to be the more expensive card. And this was true. This was true until all the way through the 90s. Until there was like all of these. So every time this Michael Jordan rookie card went up, the star card went up too. They went up together. That star card was really expensive, and I never even saw this star card anywhere. I never saw it. I didn't even see this card, but I never saw the star card. I might see one of these, but I never saw the star cards. And I come to find out the reason I never saw these star cards is because they have a print run of about 4,000. Every one of the subsets, every one of the base sets, they all have a print run of about 400,000 versus 86 Fleer that had hundreds of thousands print run. So I never saw those cards. And so I always thought that those cards were just like the Holy Grail, but this was always called the rookie card. This was always the official rookie card. So I just accepted that. So what happened was somewhere in the late 90s, there was these rumors that the star cards were heavily faked. And not only were they heavily faked, they had been reprinted by the original owners. The founders of Stars started printing these cards again. So in the late 90s, that's a stigma that these star cards had. So people kind of stayed away from the star cards. Well, then in the late 90s, we had the grading companies started grading cards, and they were grading the star cards. So then we had star cards that we knew were real. So people started buying the star cards, but they wasn't worth very much. This card was worth a lot more than the star cards were. And then PSA stopped grading them because they didn't know what was real and what wasn't real. They didn't have an expert. So that also hurt the value, and that also made it very skeptical for a lot of collectors. They were, kind of afraid of of buying these cards. So they just stuck with this card because, I mean, this card looks awesome. So they just stuck with the rookie card. This is official rookie card. This is the card that we're going to buy. So this is the one that everyone liked. The star cards just kind of fell to the wayside. Well, you know, as time went on and collectors got smarter on the star cards and we started getting population reports, we started realizing, like, if these cards were reprinted, where are they at? Because these population reports, they're in single digits. They're, you know, like this one has a, you know, this one has a population report. Like, I think there's less than, well, not this card, but my star card. So my star card, has an entire population of the second year star card. It's like 500. And of the 500, there's only like 159 fives. So where are they at? Where are these cards that were reprinted? Where are they? If they're reprinted and they look exactly like the originals, where are they at? So as more and more experts came out, they started talking about, well, the reprinted ones, they do look different. But I've not seen them. I've not even seen those. So people are starting to realize that the ones that are authentic, the ones that have been graded, there's not very many of them at all. And the reprinted ones, like, they're very easy to notice, and people don't buy ungraded ones. So no one's falling for that. So now we've realized how many of these 86 Fleers there are. You know, if you look at the PSA 8, there's 7,700 of those in a population. But if you look at the star cards, I don't think there's any star card that has a population over 1,000 at all. So those cards are extremely rare. And if you look at, now you're starting to look at all of these oddball Michael Jordan cards from 84, 86, 87, all of these oddball, like the Interlake. The Interlake just sold for over $200,000. You have the Nike. The Nike sells for tens of thousands of dollars. So it's like, well, why are we not respecting the star card that is officially licensed, is 2 years earlier than the 86 Fleer card, has a very low population. So guess what? People are jumping on the 84 XRC. They're not even caring that it's wasn't issued in packs nationwide. So the card was issued in team bags. They were issued at the arenas. They were a lot of dealers got these cards. They were selling them at their shops. They were selling them at card shows. They were in team bags, and there was only 4,000 of them. So now people just don't care. People don't care about that. They just care that that's an official license, older Michael Jordan card. And this card is, people are getting educated on this. People that have just gotten into the hobby are getting educated on these cards. And these cards are, the sky's the limit on these cards. But what I do think is people are still love this card. And this will always have the label of the official rookie card. So the only thing that these star cards are going to do is eventually they're going to get so high that it's going to help this card, and it's going to actually bring this card up. So it's nothing but good news for, you know, owners of this Michael Jordan rookie card. But man, like, I tried to get that 84 XRC and that 85. I tried to get that card when it was $10,000 to $15,000, and I just could never afford it. And I was like, that card is going to be something special. You know, I bought this card for $3,000, and the next card I was going to buy was the 84. And man, I missed the boat on that. I totally missed the boat on that. Now it's like, what's $80,000 or more? So that's the deal with the star card, guys. You know, you guys have been asking about star cards. Sky's the limit on them cards. Sky's the limit. And I would not be surprised. I mean, if a 9.5 surface of the 84 card, that card's going to sell for more than the PSA 10 86 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to sell for more. It's going to be more than $500,000. I guarantee it. I mean, the 9, look what the 9 is doing. So just be aware of that. I mean, if you can if you can still afford the 84 XRC, like buy the best one that you can afford, because you're not going to lose on that card. Put that card away. Hold that card. So that's the deal with the 84 stars cards. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing more episodes like this where I just answer your guys' questions. I talk about trending topics in the hobby. So tell me what you think about this episode. Do you like this episode? Do you want more of these? And if you do, send me questions. Send me questions and topics that you want me to talk about, and I will talk about that. And so be like, just like hobby talk and hang out. And eventually I'm going to try to get other people on here. And so we'll have like a group discussion. But for now, it's just going to be me until I get I get my subs up, and then I can do live streams and whatever. So that's, that's later on down the road. But yeah, tell me what you think about this episode. Send me your questions, and I will definitely do another episode if you guys want more. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. I hope you like this. If you did, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next Michael Jordan Market Report.